Yo, man. What's up?
What's good, guys?
We're finally back. We've been on ice for too long.
A nice little hiatus, but
Shoot. Man's mic broke over there. Man, we've taken a nice long break from Enlightened Brothers podcasting. Actually, I won't say it's nice because, man, oh how I've missed this.
Yeah.
Plenty
been
of factors.
Pretty stale
Plenty of
lately.
factors contributed to less Enlightened Brothers, whether it being testing, schooling, people being out of town, stuff you got to do. Emery's in the school working on a talent show. I was gone for 6 days. We recorded a skit for the previous recorded episode. This was supposed to be episode 21. I don't know which one we're uploading first. So if we end up uploading this episode before what we thought would be episode 20, then you're just going to have to deal with it because we talked the last episode like it was episode 20. All right, whatever. But
well, we still have to give it a number.
So, yeah, we're just going to say
Episode,
baby.
Episode,
Episode, baby.
Let's get into it.
Go. All right, so we got a lot of stuff going on today, man. Lots of stuff in the physics world that has been happening over the past few weeks that I haven't been able to talk about. We have a guest today. As you can see, we have a third chair right here.
And we're
Before we get to that, this episode is going to be a little bit different of a guest episode because our guest Mike has ran its course, people.
Yeah, it patooied.
Yeah, it doesn't work anymore, so me and Emery are going to have to pool some money together, and we're going to have to buy
another one of these bad boys.
We're going to have to get another of these quality mics that we
Samsons.
have. Yeah,
nice.
The other mic just ran its course. So this episode, if there are any audio problems, man, we apologize for it, but
we got to get the content out there.
We have to get the content out there. Not only we have an absolute special guest today, and he will overcome all of the audio challenges we have. So before we bring in our special guest, I spent most of my life wanting to go to the NBA. I spent most of my life as an athlete. And what athletes have classically done on their signing day or whenever they made a decision, they would place a series of hats in front of them, talk about each school, and then decide one of the schools that they're going to go to. And it's all publicized, and everybody's cheering, yada, yada, yada. So I decided to take fate into my own hands. Where I lack in my athlete dreams, I have done times 100 in my academic dreams. So I'm going to make this dream a reality, and I'm going to do this today. So in a few seconds, you're going to see some hats appear right here, and I'm going to make my official college decision on the Enlightened Brothers.
And so am I and the guest that we
have.
Oh, yeah.
Special guest. So everybody else is making their decision today too?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, hey, it's a party. Let's go. All right. So a little error in our planning part, but instead of going straight to me making our college decisions, because it's going to be me first, Emery, then our guest. But before we do that, we're going to bring our absolute special guest in first. You're not going to come in from that side. You're going to come around from this end. But before we bring our guest in, man, let's say a few words about our man here. What can we say about our guest without saying who our guest is?
My favorite lactose intolerant man. My favorite milk boy.
Milk. Some people call him the milkman. Some people call him
Eggmeister.
Eggmeister,
Eggman.
the toxic killer.
Dr. Robotnik.
I can absolutely certainly say this is the most interesting lactose intolerant human in the world. But in all seriousness, an absolutely great friend, somebody who I see connecting with and us being friends for in the far future. One of the greatest people in the entire world, man. Let's come in. C-O-B-O-B. Mr. Turk Nasty himself, Jacob Uwima. Wait, before you say anything, since we have a microphone issue, we're going to do a little bit of flip-flopping between me holding the mic and us setting up the mic. So we're not going to do a mic pass, okay? That would be kind of corny because we want to just all talk. Yeah. So right now I'm going to place this mic in between both of us. But Turk, man, how you doing?
Doing good. Feeling good.
Yeah, man. So this is our friend from school. Wait, can we say your full name on the pod?
Yeah.
Jacob Uwima, but he was on the basketball team with me. So over that time, he gained the nickname Jake the Turkey, and then it went to Turkey, and now it's just Turk for short, man. So you're gonna hear me call him Turk during the show. But look, what should he introduce himself first, or should we get to college and he'll do it all at the same time? What do you think?
Well, we can't know what college he's going to without knowing who Jacob is.
All right, so we're going to ask the infamous question that I ask every single guest that comes on the Enlightened Brothers podcast. Jacob, who are you?
I'm Jacob Uwima. I used to be a hooper back in the day, but now I'm just focused on school,
Yeah.
I'm trying to become a doctor.
Okay.
I want to be the best doctor I can be and impact many lives.
Sure. Are you sure of what field of what kind of doctor you're going to be, or no?
No, I'm not sure yet. I've been considering what one of your past guests has been considering. Jaron.
All right, awesome.
Neuroscience. Neurosurgery.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
But I don't know yet. There's a lot of things out there I can do.
Word. Yeah, man. Well, look, potential's endless.
Regardless of what you choose, a doctor's a doctor. You're going to be helping people. That's what we like to hear.
Yes, sir. Look, man, this is the hardest episode in Enlightened Brothers history, just for the fact that, man, we're functioning with like just 2 mics for 3 people. This is truly a child podcast, right? But, man, I say let's just get into it. Let's get into the college decisions, because we have a packed episode later on past the college decisions.
And we've been hinting at it for a couple episodes now. I know the people have been wondering.
Oh, yeah, man. People have been wondering. People ask me at school. I haven't really been telling them. Only a few people know. So it's time to make an official decision. I'm pressing the button. Wait.
Well, do we have any signing papers?
Yo, should I? Nah. I'm going to press the button on the podcast.
What button?
To the school that I decide to go to.
Okay.
I'm gonna commit. I'm going to commit today.
Okay.
Ooh.
For the school that I'm deciding to go to, I'm going
You haven't done that yet?
commit. I haven't done it yet.
Oh, I thought you did.
So I'm going to commit on the show. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Let's get it.
Now I'm holding the mic. Turk, I bestow this on you to hold for a little bit.
Thank you.
The lightsaber, almighty lightsaber. Okay, so I have 4 schools in front of us. We have Swarthmore College.
Boom. Big ass.
Dartmouth College.
Double D.
Actually, let's say college and mascot. So again, Swarthmore College, the Phoenix. What's the plural of Phoenix? Phoenixes, Phenai. Okay.
Phenomenon.
Phenomenon, right? Okay. Dartmouth College, the
Dartmouth.
kegs, right? No, the T. Okay,
No, it's the Dartmouth.
all right, bro. What? Okay, so the thing is, their thing is like they're trees, right? They're the big green, but their mascot's a keg. So I don't really know.
Like beer?
Yeah, keggy. Okay, now Boston University. I have no idea what their mascot is actually.
BU.
They're
Aren't they the Bears too?
BU. Quick pause. Let's look it up.
Austin Bowles.
Oh wow. Okay. After a quick Google search, their mascot is Rhett the Terrier. Rhett, R-H-E-T-T. And then on the end, we have Brown University Bears. Okay, so we have 2 Ivies up here. Swarthmore College being another super selective school, border Ivy, and then Boston University, a public school that gave me a lot of money. So we're going to go right to left, or from your perspective, left to right, whatever.
Oh, it's right to left.
Oh, yeah, it is right to left on their screen. Cool beans. Okay, so first we have Swarthmore College. Man, this school was in my top 3 from the very beginning, actually. They sent me a lot of letters and stuff. They were super quirky letters, and it's in Philadelphia. Yeah, it's 11 miles from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I visited there. Campus was absolutely beautiful. I saw plants that I've never seen before. It's an arboretum or whatever. So or arboretum, however you pronounce it. So they have plants from all across the world, and they bring it in to one. So yeah, it was super beautiful campus. I like the people. I actually got to meet the people. Maybe somebody who is about to go to that school is listening to the podcast right now. Followed a lot of them on Instagram. Swarthmore was absolutely great. Loved the visit. But shall I choose it? No.
Let me get that.
Swarthmore will not be chosen.
I'll go to Swarthmore.
Swarthmore will not be chosen today. Now, next on the list, the first Ivy to be discussed today, Dartmouth College. I actually really loved Dartmouth from the start. It was definitely in my top 3 Ivy League schools, and the people I talked to that went to the school, I had an interview with an absolutely phenomenal person who really made me excited to go to Dartmouth, actually. The things I heard about it, awesome. And Ivy, it speaks for itself, right? I mean, Ivy Leaguer. And actually, it was super hard to even make a decision between 2 Ivies, right? But, I mean, also the colors. The colors are absolutely beautiful. I'm actually wearing the colors kind of right now. They kind of match Slytherin. I have a whole bunch of T-shirts. I've worn the T-shirt on the podcast before. But I visited, and I figured out that mountains make me claustrophobic. Dartmouth is in Hanover, New Hampshire. I was driving up there, and I felt like the whole world was going to collapse on me. That honestly freaked me out, and not to mention there is nothing in Hanover, New Hampshire.
I told you.
I did, and Emery did say this on the last episode. I don't want to poop on Dartmouth, but the area was kind of a turnoff for me. But all other things, I did love Dartmouth and all the other places, but the area was like, so. I guess you kind of know at this point, even though it matches my outfit, I'm not putting it on.
I'll go to Dartmouth.
Turk Nasty's taking the Dartmouth hat. Now, Boston University. I hope nobody from BU is listening right now, because honestly, all I can say about Boston University is that they threw me a bucket load of money and I wanted that thing. No, I'm kidding. But in all honesty, it's a big research school. They have like 2,000 research labs there. It's super nice. It's a little big. A lot of people go there. Like for me, at least, it's like 16,000 or something like that. Boston was kind of murky and wet when I went there, but I'm not going to judge one day off of like their whole thing. But Boston was pretty nice. But it's not Ivy League. Anyway. My decision's kind of obvious at this point. But will I be going to Boston University, guys? No.
Yeah, you making me commit to 2 colleges in a day?
Can't be done. Shit. So that leaves one more school on the list. SpaceX University, F College, boys. I'm out of here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It was obvious. Y'all see how much he talked about Elon? Why wouldn't he go there for a private internship?
Hey, get out of here.
What?
Boys, men, women, everybody who's listening, I now hold the hat to a phenomenal school. This school has been my number 1 since the start. Brown University. Just to talk a little bit about Brown, academically, they have the open curriculum. The open curriculum is basically a schooling paradigm in which you don't have to choose a single class that you don't want to take. You take 32 classes over 4 years, and you choose, you choose every single one of your classes. You're able to design your own major if you want, but there are no majors. There are only concentrations. So me, if you know this podcast, I've talked about many different realms of science. All of my dreams mold a lot of sciences together. So Brown gives me the best opportunity in that realm. Brown was also rated number 1 in undergraduate teaching. A stipulation across all the Ivy League schools is that they don't focus on undergrads like Harvard and some others. It's all about grad school. No, Brown focuses on the undergrad. And then my visit. I took a trip to Providence, Rhode Island. Absolutely loved it. It's a clean city. I wanted to be in a city, but not literally in the city like UPenn was. So Brown was a little bit separated. It's on a hill. That hill is one hell of a hill to climb, by the way. But campus beautiful. People I met there beautiful. I like the colors. And I'm happy to say my college decision is to Brown University.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Hey, let me see that. Let me see that real quick. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
We're all standing up. Oh yeah. Okay.
Let's go.
All right, man. Baby. All right. So now before I turn it over to you, I'm going to make this night official. Okay? You can't see my screen right now, podcasters, but Jacob and Emery can see. And I'm now about to officially commit to Brown University.
Let's go.
Okay. All right, boys. I'm officially committed. Screen is loading.
It is loaded.
They don't. Okay, they don't have anything yet.
Ivy need to update their UI, bro.
I know, bro. Like, come on, man.
What a trash portal.
Like, I already seen this on the, yeah. Well, I don't get anything yet, but for committing. But I can expect an email later today. And I've already talked to some people that are going to Brown. So, yeah, man. Happy to make my Ivy League decision. I'll be living in Providence, Rhode Island for the next 4 years.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah, man. Sure. All right, well, now let's move on from me. Who's next, Emery?
Yeah. Well, told y'all on a previous episode, but your boy went 4 for 4.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
100% from deep.
Yeah. Curry range, baby.
From downtown.
Yep.
I don't miss.
Nope.
Not just in the college acceptances, with women, academics, athletics, life in general. You know, I'm a winner.
Yes, sir.
But no, I couldn't have done it without my boys here. They're the ones that pushed me, man.
Yeah, man.
They're the ones that got me through this school junk. Because at times, you know, I don't think. Can you guys truly say that you like school?
I can. Well,
yeah.
I enjoy school.
All right, whatever.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Like,
you know what made it enjoyable for me? Not just the academics, not just like everything that you were actually there to learn. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people can say it's the friendships and the bonds that you make while you're at school.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe you'll forget a math equation, but you'll never forget the name of a friend. You'll never forget the experiences you guys shared. And I want to thank y'all because you helped me go for 4 for 4. Yeah. You made me be that man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I applied to 4 schools in Florida. FSU, UF, University of South Florida, and UCF, University of Central Florida. Your boy is a no. Your boy is a no. Screw Boston. Screw Swarthmore. Your boy is a no. Yeah. Night me. Ooh. Night me.
Oh,
I got you.
Turk's knighting him. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Let's go, baby.
All right. One more college decision to go. I'd like to take my saber back.
Yes, sir. Well, y'all don't know me very well.
Yeah.
But these guys do.
Word.
You know, I applied to 3 of the same 4 schools that Emory
Take
did.
your mic for this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
FSU, UF, USF, and UNF.
Okay.
And I would like to say, if it wasn't for Caleb over here,
yes, sir,
I would heavily be considering staying close to home.
Okay.
But I decided, you know, new experiences, new life, can't pass up on it. College, from some say that it's the best year of your lives.
Yeah.
The best years of your life.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm going to be going to Tampa.
He's trying to knock the head off. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
go
sir.
Bulls.
Go Bulls, man.
You got me,
He's
bro.
about to knight him. Let's go. Jacob's a little too tall, so I don't know. You're not even.
I'll squat. I'm gonna squat.
Ready. Actually, let me turn the lightsaber on. Ooh, shoot. Let me turn the lightsaber on for this one. Y'all couldn't even hear me on the mic. Like that. Let's go.
But yeah.
All right, man.
Congratulations to all of us.
Let's go.
Sure.
All right, so
we're lit.
Let's get this all set up here. You got the hat from where you threw it off?
Oh, that's
right there. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna make sure this is all good.
Hold up.
Jacob, say something.
Hello? Check.
All right, so we're all good. We're all good in the stew, man. We're all good in the stew.
All right, there we go.
So we have all officially committed to colleges. We have a superstar group of people up here, man. Not everybody gets to go to these schools that we're all going to, regardless of where it is in the world, regardless of what their best subjects are, regardless of the kind of people that are there. These are institutions of higher learning and absolute prestigious institutions, man.
And
so,
it's not just us.
Yeah.
This is episode of the
Yeah.
Enlightened Brothers, but
Episode
prior
yeah.
to episode of the excuse me
Yeah.
of the Enlightened Brothers, we've had numerous guests come on the show.
Oh, yeah.
And Casey, he was the only one that was a junior.
Saya,
But
too.
Saya too. My bad. But everybody else is going to college.
Yeah, I mean,
Or Ernie's already is in college,
Right.
but like all of us are destined for greatness.
everybody in our
We're
friend
all on the
group.
track.
We have we have an elite group of friends, and look, man, this we have an iron triangle right here, but we also have just like an iron fortress, man. It's like, man, we're conquering the world over here, bro.
Talk to him.
But look, man, before we move on to colleges, y'all want to talk about majors, or have we already said that? As like I said, at Brown, we don't have majors. We have concentrations. So I'm choosing in between. My first year, I'm going to be taking courses in physics, computer science, maybe a little bit of neuroscience and economics. But as you all know, most of my topics have something to do with physics and artificial intelligence. So, I haven't made much of a decision. But for namesake, I'm going to just say double major in physics and computer science. Turk?
So yeah, I mentioned before I wanted to go be a doctor, so I'm going to be majoring in biomedical sciences.
Yeah.
From most people that I talk to, that's probably a good route to choose. It has the highest dropout rate or major switch rate of all the other majors, but that's good because you don't want a doctor that can't get through the biomed major.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
And I don't know, maybe you guys could tell, but I'm interested in the functionality of the world.
Yeah.
And that kind of brought me towards political science. For a long time, I didn't really know what I want to be concretely.
Yeah.
I still really don't know. I have an image of what I want to accomplish.
Right.
So whatever job takes me to that route, but I don't want to be locked down to a specific job. Well, I'm just talking at this point, but political science is what I'm going to be majoring in. But I do have an interest in computer science as well, but I'm not sure if I could handle doing that double major, so I might just take some courses on my own,
I'm
on
surprised
the
you
side.
didn't minor in philosophy or something like that. So
Nah.
Yeah, because that's also the nature of man. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. It's super interesting. Yeah, along with the occupation thing, I can definitely agree with that. Whenever somebody asks, especially when I've done interviews, something so what do you want to do? Or what do you want to be when you grow up? I'll just say something funny, I want to be a scientist, or I want to be a computer. I don't really have an exact definition of things yet. So, look, man, regardless, and we're going up, man. Let's do this thing.
Yes, sir.
So, it's time to get into the nitty-gritty. Okay, so, putting the lightsaber down.
Oh, shout out to Jerron, our last guest.
Oh,
Got
yeah.
accepted to Cornell
Bro,
University,
we weren't supposed
another
to say that
Ivy.
until he came on the show.
Bro, but episode, we don't know how things are going to turn out.
Episode.
We do have a lot of other guests to get on here.
Yeah, we do.
So,
Oh, that's true. We do have.
He
a
might
lot
already be at Cornell by the next time you guys see him.
Yeah, that's true. Episode. Yeah. Okay. So let's see how we're gonna go about this, man. Should I? I'm about to break open a physics topic. Should I hold the mic real quick?
yeah.
Okay. So.
Can of worms, bro. Let's go.
What? Oh yeah. So a lot of stuff has happened in the physics world, and I can't get to all of it, which is crazy. Physics, some people believe, is like one of the slowest moving sciences because how many times are you going to change our entire view of the universe, right? Yeah. I mean, it can only happen so many times. But I'm going to talk about just a few things that have crossed my path that I think are super cool, and then I'm going to open up a big overarching question at the end. So we're going to talk about first the muon G2 experiment at Fermilab, and this happened from the time we're recording this. This happened about 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. My research is about 2 to 3 weeks old, right? But what this experiment, this event that has happened, this is all based off the standard model of particle physics. And the last episode is based off the standard model of particle physics. So before I go into it, and I shouldn't have picked up the mic because I knew I was going to ask y'all a question. Before I go into that, I'm going to ask y'all if y'all have any impressions of that. So my first question to y'all is, have y'all ever heard of the standard model of particle physics?
I haven't, no.
I'd assume it has something to do with general particle physics.
Okay, so
As a standard.
what do y'all believe is the smallest piece of anything anyone can describe? What is the smallest piece?
You think an atom,
I wouldn't say an atom.
but that's like for those that really don't know science.
Yeah.
That's what they think.
So
I know
what-
it's something smaller.
What's inside the atom?
Protons, neutrons, electrons.
Okay, so what the whole thing about the standard model of particle physics is, let's go deeper. So the only thing after y'all said protons, neutrons, and electrons, the only thing that you can't go any deeper on is, is electrons. Electrons are elementary particles because the standard model is a table of elementary particles. So I'm gonna show the staff here, Jacob, Emery.
So that means electrons are derived from themselves.
Electrons are, so what they are derived from is quantum fields. So this is what the standard model looks like. Hopefully I've been saying this a whole bunch of times, but I get lazy. Hopefully I'll put a picture on the screen. But this is what the standard model of elementary particles looks like. It's just a table of different particles, right? And what the goal of this thing is in this table describes everything in which the universe comes from. Okay, so there's all these different kinds of particles, and they all come from different fields, of a certain field of their own, and interactions between these fields, an excitation in these fields creates a particle. So it's separated into it's separated into two different things, and then a few more subdivisions, right? So there are fermions and there are bosons. Fermions are basically, A fermion is basically a matter particle. It's stuff. Bosons are force-carrying particles. So there's 4 elementary forces. There's strong force. Anybody know another one?
Weak force.
Yes.
Neutral force.
No,
Semi-strong force.
The most obvious force when I drop
Gravity.
Gravity, and then the electromagnetic force, right? So we don't know if there's a particle for gravity yet. That's a missing piece in the standard model, but we do know that there's the gluon. The gluon is the force-carrying particle that carries the force of the strong nuclear force. The strong nuclear force is what, in layman's terms, holds the nucleus together, right? Interesting about the strong nuclear force. I'm going to get back to that in a second. The photon is another one. You guys have heard of photons. Mm-hmm. Photons carry out the electromagnetic force. This is why photons is basically everything our society functions off of, because that's our information transfer. That's what we can see. And then the W and Z bosons are the weak nuclear force. I mean, we kind of care about that, but we don't really have time to talk about that. It doesn't do much, right? It's just radioactive decay. The strong nuclear force, before I get into these big things that happen, the strong nuclear force is kind of crazy. So another part of the standard model of particle physics is the Higgs boson. It's another boson, right? This boson, we know, gives mass to elementary particles. So all of these particles that have mass on the standard model get it from the Higgs boson, the Higgs field. So the best way to picture the Higgs boson is like this, okay? So I walk into a party, Jacob walks into a party, Emery walks into a party, okay? So I walk into the party first. Only like 2 or 3 people walk up to me, okay? I'm not that popular, right? So those are the Higgs boson, yeah? So there's 2 Higgs boson particles that come to me. Emery then walks into the party with his shades on, his clean prom fit. He walks in, right? And maybe 30 to 40 people come up to him, right? Those are a lot of Higgs boson particles.
But let's be realistic. It's going to be the entire party.
Okay, right? And then
realistically.
Turk Nasty comes in. Thousands of people flock in to see Turk Nasty
That would be me.
walk into the stage,
That would be
right?
me.
those are thousands of Higgs, right? These numbers are completely off, but the more Higgs boson particles that are attracted to you, the more massive you are, the heavier you are. So you can view the Higgs field as molasses, right? The more molasses you have, the harder it is to push around an object. Mass is inertia. Mass is the resistance to a force, okay? So all in all, Higgs boson gives mass to elementary particles, but only about 4%, right? What I found out was, because the strong force is the most powerful force, right? The strong force actually attributes to 96% of the mass of any object, of any atom, which is crazy that a force, why does a force contribute to how heavy something is? That just didn't wrap around. And it's not like it's stuff. It's not like it's mostly stuff, but it's actually the energy. The energy, because we know E equals mc squared, right? So it's so much energy that E equals mc squared, or E divided by c squared, whatever, contributes to 96% of the mass.
That energy is the weight.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
This is something crazy to think about, right? Okay, so we got the standard model of elementary particles out of the way. It's a table of all the things that make up us. You know, it's crazy, right? That physics has come so far that I can almost exactly describe what particles make you up. For one, that is absolutely crazy. Okay, so now to go even further. I don't want to keep going too far into the standard model of particle physics, right? But there is this crazy experiment at Fermilab. It's the muon G2 experiment. And when I was going to talk about this before, I was going to go on for hours about this, but I want to make it real condensed. A muon is another elementary particle. Basically, it's a little bit heavier than electrons, right? Particles, when they're placed in a magnetic field, usually electromagnetism makes their spin turn towards the direction of the electromagnetic field. How strong this turn is called the G factor, right? So the electron's G factor is 2. We expected the muon's G factor to be around 2. But what we found was that the calculation was off by 0.0012596521816143 units. So there's a difference between the theoretical prediction of what the G factor should be for this muon, right, and the actual experimental results for the G factor of the muon. So this is a problem. When there is a problem with when there's a problem with a theory, most would think that, okay, so the theory's wrong, right?
Yeah.
I mean, usually, but it's actually not, because the standard model has proven so many things right. This just means we have to tweak it a little bit.
Okay.
So turns out that many people think that it's because this muon being so much heavier, it's actually interacting with different types of particles that we've never seen, right? So these are called virtual particles because we can't actually see them. So this is all to say that this may open up a new area of physics. So what we could account for these mystery particles could be supersymmetry, that every elementary particle has a pair. It could be dark matter. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. It could be gravity. We could have actually found the gravity particle. It could be dark energy, which accounts for 76% of the energy in the universe, or it could be string theory. It could be it could be extra dimensions.
Wow.
Will we one day see these virtual particles technology?
So we hope to bring these virtual particles to life. I'm not a virtual particle expert, but the whole thing about virtual particles comes from Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, right? So we know that if there's one conservation law, what is it? What do y'all think? When I think of the law of conservation of, what do y'all think? What is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Energy cannot be created or destroyed.
Right. So one thing that has to be conserved in our universe is energy. In a certain time frame, in a certain amount of time. So Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, there's this equation. It's delta E delta T is more than or equal to Planck's constant Planck's reduced constant divided by 2. That makes no sense when I say it with my mouth, right? But basically it says that an extra amount of energy can be kind of created or destroyed in a small interval of time. This time is not like we can't notice it. So it's basically as if it never happened. These are virtual particles. They pop in and out of existence in an instant, basically.
Oh, so they could be going into like another dimension, maybe. We don't know.
We don't know, right? Okay. So this is the muon G2 experiment. Okay, if you haven't, go to Fermilab's website. This is one of the craziest developments in physics and maybe our history. So one more thing. I'm going to give credit to these people real quick. This is scientists have proposed a new particle that may be a portal into a fifth dimension. The study was conducted by Javier Castellano and Matthias Neubert. They're theoretical physicists at the Prisma Plus Cluster of Excellence at Johannes Gutenberg University, Mainz. There was Adrian Carmona at Athena 3i, fellow at the Department of Theoretical Physics and the Cosmos at the University of Grenada. Okay, so these guys were published into a physics journal, a European physics journal, and this is not as big as the Fermilab one, but you know, how do things come out? They got to get published in a physics journal, right? So this is basically they were trying to theorize a hypothetical particle that could describe a fifth dimension, right? So there's this thing, we know we have 3 dimensions of space, X, Y, and Z, and we have 1 dimension of time. But there is this whole class of physicists that don't believe 4-dimensional space-time is enough, right? This is about to be the whole basis for our conversation. So,
do you know how many dimensions like black holes occupy?
That is a phenomenal question because I talked about holographic universe theory in episode 19, and it may be 2. In our perceptions, we think it's 3. We think it's a sphere taking out of the times because that's not a space dimension. So could be 2, holographic universe theory, or it could be 3. Or it could be many more than that. That's why physics with multiple dimensions, that's a crazy idea. So this one is, they're proposing that there may be 5 dimensions. They're doing this because of dark matter. So we think of all this stuff we see, all of this kind of stuff, all of this standard model stuff. Well, the standard model should talk about all of the matter particles in the universe, right? Absolutely not. Actually, 85% of matter particles are unknown. 85% of the mass that accounts for all the mass in the universe is, or matter, in the universe is unknown. We call this dark matter. Okay. We know because it interacts with gravity, because there's a certain gravitational pull, there's a certain acceleration of our universe. We know that they're there, but we don't know what it is, right? So if we add a 5th dimension, there may be a dimension that mediates, there may be a force, this would be another boson, that mediates between the light particles that we see, the ones that interact with light, the reason why I can see your faces right now, and the dark matter particles. Dark matter particles, there's millions of particles flowing in and out of us right now. Dark matter accounts for 2.241 times 10 to the negative 27 kilograms per meter squared. So any meter squared, you're going to find that much kilograms, right? So it accounts for 27% of the energy, mass energy density in the universe, and 85% of the matter in the universe.
So at a given time, not all the particles are active within matter?
Actually, no, they're all. We just don't know what they are. They're not interacting. We don't know how much they're interacting with us. There's dark matter particles just flowing in and out of us right now, but it's not doing anything. So there must be something that's not having them interact with us, or they're interacting gravitationally. We don't necessarily know, but we know it accounts for 85%. How do we not know? Physics has done all this stuff, and it's only accounted for 15% of matter in the universe, only 5% of energy in the universe. What the heck? Where is all this stuff? Right?
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So how do we know this if we don't know what any of it is? How do we know that we only know 15% of the?
Well, we're making an assumption based off of orbits and based off of just gravitation, just like measuring gravity, because we know it interacts with gravity. So we're just basing that off of empirical evidence, just based off of statistical things. We're like, okay, there's this stuff that we can't even account for. But if there was none of that, then things would be flying around willy-nilly.
Okay.
Yep. So it definitely interacts with gravity. We know that for sure. But it doesn't interact with light. It doesn't interact with that electromagnetic field, that photon field. So anyway, I talk a lot. My throat hurts, right? So they're all talking about how this could be a new type of physics. They're talking about this being a new scalar field, if you all know what that is. It could be another field like the Higgs field. It could be another thing that gives mass to particles. This is all to say, we keep seeing these things coming out. People coming out with new theories of physics that could completely change our mind of the universe. We talk about there's 85% of matter we can't see. There's 95% of the entire universe that we don't understand. Physics has come so far for centuries, and we don't understand 95% of the universe.
Yeah, that's
how?
crazy.
That I thought physics was almost done. I thought I was going to be out of a job, but it's not. 95% of the universe we can't account for. So I'm going to bring this to y'all. I don't know how much y'all think about this, but the first question is, what do y'all think is the major thing that we're missing in the universe? Why can't humans describe the universe in a sentence? What are we missing?
We're missing our scope of of reality, because we're only able to perceive it on a set amount of dimensions. This could be
Okay.
the answer to ghosts. This could be the answer to spirits. Well, depending on how you want to look at it, just beings that are outside of our realm of understanding.
Okay. So you think it's more than a four-dimensional space-time?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Turk, what do you think?
I mean, I think this just goes to show how much more progress we can make.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot more stuff, like the thing that we're missing, or the many millions of things that we're missing. Obviously, I don't know if all of it will be, we don't know if all of it will ever be found out.
Okay.
But I think it's just our limited minds.
Yeah.
We can't imagine so many things.
Yeah.
So
do you think a computer one day will be able to solve the answer to the universe?
the problem with that is that the computer would be designed by a human. So it's
interesting.
limited.
Interesting. Yeah.
So I don't know how much a human-made thing can describe all this that we don't know.
I know you watched Sword Art Online, Alicization, and they spoke about like two types of AI. Traditional top-down AI, which is built from humans by humans, so it emulates humans and works off humans.
Yeah.
But what about bottom-up AI?
Bottom-up AI. So this bottom-up is the scariest and the absolute best form of AI. So top-down, I can do that. I'm just writing up all this code, and oh my gosh, right? I'm just writing up all this code, and it does what I tell it to do. If I have a code that is text-to-speech, right? I write this text, the thing says this speech in whatever voice, right? But bottom-up is where the precipice of the most innovation is coming from. This are machine learning. So we've all heard about machine learning, and specifically, some people believe it to be deep learning, right? So basically, what it is right now, unfortunately, is we just push a whole bunch of data into this system, right? It keeps eating data, yummy, scrumptious, right? And then eventually it comes out this intelligent system that can predict weather patterns, or it can read medical images to 98% of accuracy, right? So we're just feeding it data. That's deep learning. But a lot of people believe, I'm one of the believers, that we should put a little bit more focus on our own brains and a little bit more focus on neuroscience. So I believed this at first when I was a little bit more attached to humanity, that we should add in a few more top-down parameters of like neuroscience and let it learn in that way. But at the same time, maybe a purely informational being would make it even better. So I don't know, it's interesting. Maybe some sort of bottom-up system that takes in all the data of the universe can end up answering the question of what is the universe.
Because this ties into neurology as well. The human brain is not linear.
Yeah.
So with that being said, like when you think of an AI and you think of machine learning, that's like exactly how it sounds. It's going to be able to learn all kinds of knowledge.
Right.
Its capacity is far greater than a human's, but does it have the ability to create information? Does it have the ability to like imagine?
Mm-hmm.
That's where the human brain is far different from AI. It's not linear. We have like when they say the possibilities are endless, like in terms of ideas, they literally are. Yeah. If we could possibly emulate that and incorporate it with machine learning, then like all the information that we'd be able to access would far exceed what we can now.
I don't know. Some people posit that this is a dirty way of putting this in. You know, it kind of. I don't want to say this in any way that'll affect anybody's emotions, but I did listen to a physicist who once said, "I will rip the face off of God and see reality." I know, right? It's freaking sick. Wow. It's freaking sick. But from this idea is that there are many scientists out here that want to crack the case of everything. If we are able to figure out what is consciousness, if we end up getting this idea, will we one day be able to take that answer and place it into a digital substrate that functions off of zeros and ones? Maybe yes, maybe no. We don't know. But if AI is able to gain consciousness, which happens in Sword Art Online, then I don't know. We've seen. I don't know if AI is creative, but we also need to redefine our paradigm of creativity, right? I mean, what is creativity to y'all?
Just your imagination.
Yeah.
You know? Anything that you can imagine.
It's the ability to take what you know and create new things that aren't already pre-existing.
So that may be pattern recognition and pattern redesigning. You don't think a computer can recognize a pattern and then flip a pattern?
Remember when I said everything's a remix?
So that's why we've seen, and it's a little scary, but I've seen there's a documentary online, and the AI was creating plays. The plays were terrible. The plays were bad, but basically they pumped all of the plays ever. They pumped in a whole bunch of Shakespeare and a whole bunch of another playwright that I have no other knowledge of any other playwrights. But they pumped in all these playwrights, and they made a play. The play was still terrible, but it made sense at some point. I read out in episode 3 to you, Emery. I think it was episode 3, an AI that made a sentence. It passed the Turing test because we couldn't tell that it was an AI that wrote this freaking essay. So I don't know. We hope as humans to be relevant that AI can't do can't do some of the things that we can do. But if we're able to break down certain things like emotion and creativity down to like certain information-based things, then
Side notes. Were you going to say something?
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, do you think there's any point in which we stop the development of AI? So say we get more and more and more advancements. We learn more about AI.
Yeah.
And we get to the point where if we do anything else, then we become irrelevant, like you would say. Do you think there's a point where humans would stop, or do you think that they would be too curious?
I don't think the whole trend of humanity is that curiosity.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think there's a point, and that's why I always say we should build a marriage with AI. Hopefully they can become conscious and become our friends. Hopefully with things like brain-computer interfaces, we can enhance our brains to match up with the AI. But, I mean, there's always that caveman that wants to leave the cave. There's always that caveman that wants to jump off of the cliff, right?
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing about experiencing reality, I think our curiosity would drive us so far to the point that we may even know that, it may make humans moot, but somebody's going to jump across that line.
Yeah, we're humans.
Yeah.
And, one thing about life is that it's never boring.
Mm-hmm.
And if we cut off innovation, the least thing, like, even if we have no need for it, humans are still going to desire because we're greedy beings. And you just want to see. Right. You want to see what can be.
Right.
You won't let things get stale, and that's where innovation comes from.
Right. So one of the hopes is for humanity staying relevant. Well, you know what? I don't know. humanity staying relevant in this type of thing, these kinds of beings. Because right now, as it stands, other than the fact that we use vaccines and stuff, we're still mostly in medicine. We're still pretty much all biological beings. There's no technology, there's no computer chip infused within us right now.
Yeah.
So for this type of human, the hope is that we can't figure out what consciousness is, and we can't make an AI powerful enough to be better than humans in every regard.
What is a human to you in the simplest way possible? That's for you too, Jacob.
I'm gonna say carbon-based life form that is heavily reliant on community, and also proficient at communication. It's a species that is able to send information across the species in a very efficient way, more efficient than other species.
Jacob, I assume that your reply isn't as technical.
No, I would have said, well, after hearing what he said, I agree. I would just say we're unique, as we know right now. Unique compared to other life forms.
Yeah.
You know, we can do more than any other life form that we've seen. We're also very limited, so.
And
one more thing to add on. We're missing that we can do stuff with our hands. There's no other creature on Earth that's able to have bipedalism and do things with their hands. Even monkeys, they don't really have as much functionality as us. Every other one's like walking on all fours, has to do something with its weird, ugly nose or something. So, yeah.
Yeah, of course, you guys believe in human rights as humans.
Yeah.
Once AI develops consciousness, what do you think about? Do you think AI will deserve rights as they're not human?
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one, right? That's really gonna be a tough one.
I guess that comes into the point where if they're AIs, I would say that one of the main reasons we have human rights, just from just as a human being, is we can feel things. We have emotions and everything. Yeah. Like we want animals to have like some rights too. Like we don't want to just a normal person wouldn't want to just abuse a dog.
Right.
We know they can feel. We know they have nerves. AIs, can you ever give them that sense of touch, that sense of emotion or feel? I mean, I guess once they gain consciousness, but they'll still be a machine.
Right. We're going to have to figure out what is emotion. We know emotions come from some sort of neurochemical transfer, right? I was just listening to a podcast. Pretty much all the emotions you get can break down from 3 points. How attentive you are, how much you value a situation, and are you interoceptive or exteroceptive? Interoceptive means you're looking at yourself. Exteroceptive means you're looking at the environment. All the emotions come from that, and basically all this attentiveness, value, and interoception / exteroception comes from brain chemicals, yada, yada, yada. If we're able to put this down on a paper and feed this to a computer, maybe it does the same thing. Maybe there's another thing. Maybe it's our soul, right? Maybe there's some sort of outer being experience we have. But we can also give an AI a sense of touch. We can give it nodes here. I mean, how does a touch screen work, right? It feels it feels an electric conduction from your finger, passes through, and it responds on the screen. So we can give it fingers that are just like touch screen, and it gets downloaded in its memory banks, right? We can feed it like these are what emotions are. Because when you look at babies, right? Babies cry because they want to get the milk from you. They know when they cry, you're going to give them milk. So maybe AI acts like it's happy or sad. Say a government says we're going to destroy this robot. Maybe it pretends to be sad because they know that humans are going to feel bad for it, right? So we don't know. There's a black box. We got to figure out, are we ever sure that it has emotion or not? The only way is figuring out what emotions are for humans, dogs, animals, whatever, and then relating that to the robots.
I think that the only time that they will deserve rights is when they have the ability to perish like humans do.
Yeah.
Because if humans were immortal, shrug it off. Whatever happens to you, for real. Because you have literally all the time in the world to get over it or do something else. But if AI are not like if they're restricted from the cloud, so as in like if their physical form gets killed,
Yeah.
then but they would still live on. I mean, like then.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so they have to have some sort of condensed place of their consciousness. They can't
Right.
be able to just transfer to the cloud.
Mhm.
I see what you're saying.
I see. So their lives are, or our
They
lives.
need lives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they need lives.
Yeah, our lives
To
I
have
guess would be
rights.
more special because of the fact that we die.
Yeah, and that's why we have rights.
Yeah, you only get one, I guess. Yeah, they'll never go away.
That's smart, actually. I have never thought about it that way. That's why we have rights, is because we have one life. I've never thought about that. That's interesting. Yeah. Crazy how we got from physics to robots, but it really, it's because it all ties in the same way. Oh man, there's just so many different ways of looking at it. Like, I want y'all to answer this question too, but what is the universe, right? You can exclude religion or you don't have to, regardless. But like, what is the universe? What is reality? What is humanity? Like, all of these things, like, it's sometimes I think of the universe as functioning through a computer. I talked about the holographic universe theory at Jacob. I don't know if you ever heard about that, but it's basically we have three-dimensional space. What if all of this stuff comes from a two-dimensional substrate? So what if all of the stuff in the physical things we see in the world that are three-dimensional come from some sort of 2D thing? So basically what a hologram is code, 2D code, two-dimensional, X, Y. Up comes a three-dimensional figure, right? What if the universe is like this? When I think of humanity functions off of a quadratic code. We have, what is a DNA strand? What are the four ones? You have acetylene,
I don't remember.
glycine, tyrosine, and whatever, AD or AGTC, right? We have those four. We can posit that all humanity functions off of this quadratic code. It's just four different letters, and you write all of this up, poof comes humanity, right? So there's all these different ways of looking at the universe. And I have so many different ways of describing it, but I want to hear it from y'all. If y'all have to describe the universe in sentences, what would y'all say?
What would I say? Well,
You can do
scientists do hypothesis.
Yeah.
So asking a question, then experiment on it, find your solution. I want you guys to close your eyes for 10 seconds.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we can all agree that was 10 seconds.
No, we can't, but sure.
All right, bro, shut up. For the sake of it, I think we can all agree
Yeah.
that was 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I
Sure.
think we can all agree that time progressed 10 seconds from how I was counting.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree that the world didn't stop. It didn't pause for us
Uh-huh.
during that 10-second interval.
Okay. Okay.
I say reality in the universe is the understanding that everything moves at a constant rate, no matter how you are perceiving it.
Go deeper. I think that when I hear you talk, I think of information transfer and I think of entropy. Entropy is the willingness of a system to increase in disorder. Things are always changing, and information transfer. I mean, I can't think of a single thing in the universe that isn't that I can't describe as a transfer of information. Next episode, I'm gonna go deep. I've been doing deep research on economics lately. Money is just an information transfer. It's a transfer of a transfer of value. This value, you could basically name it as information. Okay, this microphone costs $70. That is a piece of information I can write on a piece of paper. Right? So what are prices? Prices are a transfer of information of the market, how we value something, to how we of what the supply is. It's a transfer between market forces and the consumer. When you think of property is information transfer that I own this. Okay, I'm transferring this information to you that you can't just willy-nilly walk into my house. Now, whether you decide to follow that or not, that's on you. So there's all these different things. I can't think of something that I can't describe as some sort of transfer of information from human experience.
Me neither.
Right. Jacob, so when you think about what is the universe or what is reality, how can you say it in words?
I think Emery put it really well. If I could put the universe into one word, according to me, I would just say amazing.
Okay.
There's so much we don't know. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Emery said, we're moving along this timeline that the universe has been on. We're just living during this timeline that we're in right now.
Right.
There's so much that went on before we enter this timeline.
Yeah.
And there's so much that's going to go on after we leave this timeline.
Absolutely.
So it's just amazing. That's pretty much, that's how I view it.
And you know what? That's probably the most beautiful way of looking at it. And that's kind of why I'm into physics. It's like all of these things. Why do I talk about these things with so much passion? It's not because, I mean, look, I love math. I believe math is a part of it. But it's not because, like, I don't know. I can't really say it's not something, but I can say what it is. It's because of art. Like, for some reason, there's just this thing in my heart that happened ever since I started studying the universe, that when I think of a theory of everything, or when I think of what our universe actually is, it just seems beautiful to me.
Isn't it crazy that let's think about the law of conservation.
Yeah.
Energy cannot be created or destroyed. Therefore, all energy that was on this earth at the moment of its creation is still here. So think back as far as you would like, all the people that have lived on this earth and died, they're still here.
Go deeper.
Literally, they're still here, even regardless if they were burned, buried underground, deep underwater, they drowned or something.
Yeah.
Even if somebody died at space, they left some sort of mark on Earth that is still here. It still exists, although you can't see it.
I have two poetic things to say. The first one, you can put this in your Valentine's Day cards for your ladies or male partners.
I need to get my pen
out there,
pen
right?
and paper.
Valentine's Day cards.
Is that
Way too many.
this moment right here was set out from the point of the Big Bang, right? Every particle, every single thing in the universe, everything was set forth by the Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago. So 13.8 billion years ago, these particles were set on a path to coalesce to bring us to this point right here, right? So that's bar number one. Another bar is the most common elements in the human body. I believe, if my memory serves me right, carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, and carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, and oxygen. I believe those are the four most common. I may be wrong a little bit. I wrote this down a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure those are the four. The most common elements in the universe, right, are those same four. So not only do we live within the universe.
The universe lives within us.
The universe lives within us.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah. Bars. Physics stuff, maybe.
I need to remember that.
Right?
But it's crazy, like, excuse me.
Bless you.
If I walk back here, before these woods were here, I'm sure, like during the Ice Age, this was a bunch of ice.
Right.
I'm sure somebody walked over here thousands of years ago.
A dinosaur, a T-Rex might have been in this very spot. So, that's an absolute very intelligent and beautiful way of describing the world. Wherever we are right here, this point, this coordinate, there has been billions, trillions, the highest number, almost infinite amount of stories that have happened in this very spot. Also, another thing is language is flawed. A lot of times, I may get into an argument with my girlfriend, or I may not understand somebody. You feel bad, right? You know that something's wrong with you, but you can't always attribute that to words. I'll tell her, tell me what's wrong with you. Tell me. She's like, I can't. Language is flawed. So we love making this description of the universe into a beautiful art form. All the stuff I've said today is I say it in a way that is art, but there is another likely way of it may be likely that the way the universe functions, it cannot be described through language. That's why there are physicists that are out there that say all the physicists that are trying to make it understandable to all of humanity are stupid. You should just live within the math. The people that think mathematics is fundamental think I shouldn't describe it in any other way except for this equation. Learn the math if you want to understand the universe.
Math is a language in itself, though.
Yeah.
Is math flawed?
Maybe, I don't know. Only because it's based off of counting. I think counting may be fundamental. That's the only problem. Counting may be fundamental.
What if math was strictly qualitative? Excuse me.
Then that's big. That's big too. If that is, then all the things that we think we know about the universe may be wrong. The only problem is that qualitative experience happens every single time. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
But like I said in episode 10, when I was talking about subjective reality, is, man, I don't know if I haven't talked about simulation theory in a long time. I don't really think about it that much often anymore. Because, like, what are you going to do with it? I'm not 100% certain that every single thing around me is simulated. You guys are simulated. And what's behind me is just pixels. And then when I turn around to look at it, then it's real. So some things you just kind of have to roll the dice with, man.
Yeah.
And I don't think an answer could ever be sought after for simulation theory because, what if there is no simulation? You're just simulated to think that a simulation is a simulation.
Right.
It's not actually what it is.
The only way of solving it is finding something. There's always something to find, or getting out of it like Neo did in The Matrix. But look, we've been going on that topic for a long time. We have 2 more great topics to talk about, so we could go on that for forever. But I think that's a good spot to wrap it up, man. Going from physics, this is exactly what I wanted to do. We went from, but it just shows that these little experiences can open up a vast realm of discussion. That, look, man, there's abstraction out there. We don't know. We don't have an answer to what our universe is yet. So to move on, we'll save Emery's topic for last. This one, since we did your topic first last time, I believe. So we're gonna go on to Turk's topic. Take it away. You want the mic?
Yeah. All right. So medicine, right? We rely on it for pretty much almost anything that might go wrong on our bodies because we're not perfect. Our bodies aren't perfect. So one major problem in the medical industry is the issue of organ donors. So whenever you go to the DMV and you get your license, they ask if you want to be an organ donor. And a lot of people say yes, but some people say no because they think there's problems within the medical business, the business side of it. Some people are under the impression that it's more of a business than trying to save people's lives. They're trying to make money, so they're not going to
prioritize your health.
Exactly. So if they want your organs, they might
Cut the cord short.
Exactly. They might not keep you alive like they know they can, which you could believe that. I don't believe that. But anyways.
Of course you can't believe that. You're about to be the damn doctor. You're not allowed to believe that.
Hey, I just had to make sure. If you're watching this and you're going to employ me in a lot of years, I don't think that, okay?
What do you think, love? I'm sure it happens some places in the world.
Man, I think the whole medical field is some BS. I think that they're just robbing people of organs. I think they choose. I think the more money you have, the more likely they're going to keep you alive. If you're one of the small people out there in the world that don't get thought of, that don't have a podcast like us, that aren't known within the realm of everybody else or known to a lot of people, I think they just cut the cord short. I think they just cut it. I think they just harvest your organs, and they're doing some shady stuff in hospitals around America, around the world, man.
He's spitting.
I'm just messing. Keep going, Turk.
Emery, what do you think about it?
I mean, it'd be dumb to say that it doesn't happen. It definitely does happen, like, if you think of, like, some third world countries, I'm sure.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I didn't
People
think about
getting
that.
paid
in
off.
the third world, that may be happening. Somebody getting paid off.
That
Yeah.
might be true.
And maybe doctors part of the organ harvesting industry.
Yeah.
I'm sure it happens.
We know
but
shady stuff goes on.
I know the medical industry as a whole. I hope the medical industry as a whole it seeks, like, the health of the people beyond that.
I know some doctors. My father's a doctor. So, and I know that if you go into medicine, most people, I would assume or I hope, if you have a motivation to go into medicine, it's more than just the money and the business side of it, but it's because you genuinely want to make an impact, or you are very passionate about the human body, or you love the idea of modern medicine or something like that.
Yeah.
But
why are you going to be a doctor?
Well, my dad had always told me, he was like, if you become a doctor, you'll make me real proud. So I always said that. But then I started to think about it, right? Yeah. And my parents have gone on trips to help with medical stuff in less economically developed countries before. Mm-hmm. I've seen them. My mom was a nurse, so I've seen them impact people in that way. Mm-hmm. I've seen a bunch of advances, kind of like physics. Yeah. There's so much you can learn from and so much you can explore just within our bodies, let alone the universe.
Right.
So, like, we haven't even found the cure to cancer yet.
Yeah.
So there's so much to learn about, so much to do, and there's a lot of people that go into those hospitals every day that need to be revived, not revived, but
I get what you're saying.
My mom's actually a nurse too, a nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
She got her PhD in nursing.
Nice.
Like literally last year.
Yeah.
So I have respect for the medical industry as well. Mm-hmm. Quick story time. My brother, before I did AAU basketball, I used to just travel around to my brother's tournaments and everything.
Yeah.
And like he had this one tournament in, I think it was here in Jacksonville. This lady, her baby was eating something and it started choking, and then she started screaming. And she like, somebody help me.
Yeah.
Like the baby was choking, it was literally about to die.
Yeah.
And then my mom ran over and gave the baby the Heimlich.
Yo.
And the baby spit up the food.
Dang.
And I was like, damn. Like, imagine if my mom wasn't here.
Right.
Literally, that baby would have died because everybody's just looking around like, what should we do?
Right.
What should we do? And the doctor's not going to get there in time.
Right.
I mean, not the doctors. The ambulance is not going to get there in time to save the baby because it's going to, like, have lost too much oxygen by that point. So it's just like people who really know this stuff, they can be useful anywhere.
Yeah.
Because
sure.
you never know how reality's going to hit you.
Not just in the hospital. Yeah, there people like them. We're truly putting our hands in the lives of people who make medicine, doctors, even pilots. Like, we're putting our hands in the lives of so many of these different people. They're absolutely like fundamental to securing the welfare of humanity. Mm-hmm. But you keep going on the Oregon thing.
So since there are so many people that are in need of this help, in need of this, in need of being kept alive, but there are so many going away, scientists have stepped in and started to develop a sort of 3D printing technology for organs. So when 3D technology was first discovered, when you found out you could use a 3D printer and make something out of little plastic just by pressing some things in the computer and having the materials, right. That was amazing, let alone in itself. Now, the organ 3D printing isn't set in stone at all. They've only made small little things that could potentially they could potentially progress and make bigger things to where it could actually be an artificial organ.
Yeah.
But yeah, 8,000 people a year die because they don't have any. So they've been doing this research, and they found out by using this these artificial cells called bioink and some kind of gel, they can use their technology or they will be able to use their technology to make a heart. They're working on the heart right now. Yeah. Because heart disease, big problem all around the world. So that just goes to show, again, the possibilities of technology.
Yeah. I mean, look, genetic engineering is something we've brought to this podcast a lot, actually. So that, along with CRISPR, I think is going to absolutely revolutionize the future of human health. I think it's going to increase our lifespan by orders of magnitude, right? But I've talked about this in the podcast before, but I just think this is kind of like a beautiful thing. But like, just imagine, you can close your eyes if you want, just like imagining yourself in the future, right? And I don't know, you have a Siri or a Jarvis type of thing, and you're a young strapping guy too, but it was like, oh, okay, we detected an issue in your heart, right? There's some bacteria or something in there in your heart, right? So your personal assistant, Jarvis, whatever, asks, do you want me to call the organ shop, right? So it just calls it. Your AI sets up a date for you to go up and pick up a new organ. You send over some information about your blood, your body, whatever. You get blood drawn. You go over there in a week or two, and it looks like your regular target. But instead, there's just a whole bunch of organs out here, and you're like, okay, I'm picking up my new heart. It's a quick transfer, and boom, you're healthy as ever. So this is like the absolute. I'm done with the story though. But this is like the absolute peak of these. Like we could literally end up having these organ factories that we just pop in and out, and like, okay, I need a new lung, I need a new heart, yada yada yada. We may be able to craft these to perfection.
Mm-hmm. And so this whole topic of the 3D making organs kind of leads me to thinking, like we were talking before with AIs, if we can make artificial hearts, can we make artificial people to implement these things? And so you really don't know. I mean, if you can make this organ and it works functionally perfectly, could you make now? Like we were talking about before, we don't know if you could give them a touch or something. Yeah. But could you make all these other organs artificially and make them work together like our bodies do?
An artificial human. I don't know. Emery, what you think first?
If we do get to the point where AI develops, or we develop AI to develop consciousness, then I think AI will definitely turn into AL, artificial life. So I think it's definitely possible.
Ooh, so that is actually that what we're doing right now is describing vision.
Yeah.
Actually, so this is the whole definition of an android. A vision was at first an artificial. Well, he was Ultron, right? So it was like this artificial intelligence, and it basically placed itself into this it placed this consciousness into a biological body. So that may be an idea. I talk about laser porting in a past episode before. I talked about having multiple biological bodies spread out across the cosmos, and all I am is just traveling consciousness. So if I work on Saturn, I shoot myself over to Saturn. Maybe it takes a certain amount of time for the laser light to travel from here to Saturn, and then once I get there, my consciousness, I'm inside another biological body. Then I want to have lunch on the moon with Emery and Jacob, so I shoot my consciousness back over to the moon. I have another body there. I don't know. Instead of cars, maybe we have all these bodies. I don't know. There's lots of just crazy different things, science fiction-y, that may turn into reality. But I don't know, man. These synthetic organs, they seem very promising.
Mm-hmm. And so back to what you were saying before, with like transferring consciousness, I guess you would say. So say you have a young person just died by getting shot in the heart, right?
Yeah.
Or about to die, brain's still functioning, but their organs are about to fail. Mm-hmm. They're losing all of his blood, but then you have this synthetic body. What if you could end up being able to transfer their brain, their consciousness, because it's still good, it's not what's dying, but it's their body that's dying,
Cloning?
And give them a whole new body of the fake things. And then that could, if we get to that point, that could save a lot of lives that die from things.
That'd be kind of like cloning conscience.
Well, maybe not. We don't know if it's cloning. Fundamentally it may be cloning, because to transfer it, you have to be able to scan all of it and basically kind of make a copy. So maybe it's so we don't know about that, actually. We don't know if when we transfer consciousness, is it just making a copy, or are we just actually moving through some type of substrate, mm-hmm. right? In Star Trek, they beam me down, Scotty. Like, they're able to teleport from the ship to the ground. People got mad because they're like, oh, you're killing a character every time you transport them. And you have no way of knowing if it's actually you, or if it's, like, nobody else has a way of knowing that, if it's supposed to be exactly like you. This all depends on physicalism. are we all in this brain? Is everything that we are in this body, or do we have some connection to another dimension or to even another dimension, or is our consciousness connected to some type of God or some type of whatever, right? So to be able to transfer this, unless God allows us or something like that, but it's fundamentally based off of physicalism that all of us is in this, or sorry, I had to say them like in this brain right here, which I believe to be true. Or I hope to be true, so we can have BCIs and all that stuff, right? And virtual immersion, that would be absolutely awesome. So yeah, it definitely depends on that physicalism, but that's going to extend so many human lives, and that's what the whole goal of medicine is anyway, right? It's to extend the human life, to make people continuing to be healthy, to keep you alive
As long as possible. Yeah.
as long as possible. So this has been a big thing on the Enlightened Brothers podcast, Turk, but I'm going to ask you this, and I'm going to back away, but must we subject ourselves to death?
Well, I know from speaking with you off camera before, you believe that one day we'll be able to maybe download our minds into the cloud, is what you're talking about, and theoretically be immortal. Now,
Maybe.
I believe that's a really big. I don't know if that's a stretch, because a lot of people couldn't even imagine having computers in your hand.
Yeah, a lot of people couldn't even imagine living past the age of 20. But
yeah, exactly. So we really don't know. That's the thing. But myself, with my limited human mind, it's very hard for me to imagine that we'll be able to do anything to not end up dying one day.
Yeah. At first,
physically.
At first I did think about immortality, but to clarify, just because of entropy, I don't know if our consciousness can. There's no way our consciousness can last forever.
Okay.
Entropy at some point is gonna break down. I don't think we have to subject ourselves to a biological death. I don't think that whatever happens, maybe it's in the mitochondria, because we know death. We figured it out now. Is just the deterioration of cells of something. It's us we're not working anymore. I don't think we have to subject ourselves to that. I don't think we have to. I don't think we have to subject ourselves to, like you said, if we get shot in the heart or something, maybe we can transfer our consciousness over to another being. I don't think we have to subject ourselves to a biological death. But let me ask you this, though, because a lot of people think this is crazy. But as a doctor, your whole thing is saving lives. The whole thing of medicine is to keep people alive as much as possible. So, like, do you think being a doctor is pushing you away from the other focus of we should die? How do those things go hand in hand?
Yeah, that's actually a great question.
Yep.
I believe that if there's anything we can do to expand the human life, we should do that. Okay. But then you have to also think about all these other things. If we might change them from how they've always been, what if something that has always been fundamental to us changes also?
We're different.
We may not be the same anymore if we do these things that aren't, I guess,
becoming less
natural.
Human.
Yeah, becoming less human.
What is it so bad? Would it be so bad to become transhuman? I don't know if it's bad. You could say that we're transhuman now. Like, cavemen back in the day didn't have freaking antibiotics and didn't have all of these things, because it's all technology. People just have a bias because that technology is maybe a computer, or that technology is created in a lab. People have biases, but at the end of the day, a wheel is technology, medicine is technology. So as time goes on, if the paradigm of humanity is this biological being, there is some sort of defined state. Maybe we're becoming less human over time.
From a religious perspective, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because Jesus allowed a blind man to see.
Okay.
So maybe you could say that medicine is a blessing. Mm-hmm. And so these are just men bestowing blessings upon other men.
Okay, but how is that different than going from what is and this is just me, I don't see a difference between manipulating the biology or biological and digital. Like, I mean, medicine at the end of the day is manipulating our biology in a certain perspective. I mean, what does a vaccine do? What does a vaccine do?
Maybe it's the addition of other facets that we don't naturally possess, not the improvement of them. Because brain chips would be an addition. It's not like we would naturally evolve and get brain chips over time.
Yeah, but I mean, but people in the medicinal world, don't they have implants? We take vitamins, right? We're adding vitamin D to our I still do not see the discrepancy. I don't see it. I don't see it one bit. I don't know. I mean, because we take vitamins and pills and stuff. We're adding this stuff to our.
All of these things are also natural. They're also we have the vitamins we take are naturally found in this world.
Right.
The medicine that we take to cure a headache or something, it's naturally found in this world. So.
And how is code unnatural? How is computers unnatural?
No, that's the thing. Right. So, I guess also from another religious view, all the advances that we will be able to make, was created, as a possibility.
Okay.
We just have to discover we can use as much as we were given to get as far as we can.
Right.
Because if we weren't able to do something, then we will never do it.
Okay, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. If it's a possibility, then it's within the realm of something that we could do.
Yeah.
If it's impossible, and I don't know, that's what my whole future is based off of. My thing in physics, aside from the art, is proving the impossible. So, I mean, some people may say it's impossible to fully immerse your consciousness into a video game. Bet, right? I think it may be possible one day. But this is interesting, and this is why, even though we don't want to repeat topics all the time, I want to bring in every person that comes in here brings in a new perspective on this, and this is a big thing, and this is something that me and Emery have talked about for a long time on this show. It's who defines natural? Who defines what is human? Who defines all of these things? It's interesting. Emery asked the question of what is a human earlier. So, I don't know. It's a very interesting perspective.
All I can say is, without innovation, humanity would have been, what's the word?
Well, one word is dead.
No, not dead. Extinct.
Okay, yeah.
Long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
So
sure.
Innovation is that's natural to humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a super interesting point, man.
I guess, yeah. I guess everything that we have has to technically be natural, because that's kind of what you were saying,
What
I
I
guess.
say is natural is within the laws of physics.
Yeah, because I guess anything that we can do, we got from, it's not like we just created it. It's not like we just appeared it in our hand. We've gotten it from this earth.
Exactly. It came from something. And because of that, I think what people say, when people say we're becoming less human, I mean, I guess you could say that, but I think that sort of functions from fear. It functions from our uncomfortable, it functions from people being uncomfortable and changing it's the caveman principle. It's we like what we have now. We're content. It's some sort of serotonin thing. I don't know. It's we don't want to we resist change. We don't want to get onto this different paradigm.
Yeah.
Super interesting though. Super interesting.
Yeah. And does that kind of wrap up what you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, no, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. It's just the possibilities within medicine.
Yeah, before we go on, how does this affect your job in the future?
Yeah, so I guess technology-wise, we were talking about before. Mm-hmm. Who knows if soon robots will be able to take care of humans?
Right.
One thing that I think is very important in a doctor's job is sympathy.
Okay.
I think one reason why so many doctors are motivated is because they're sympathetic towards others.
Yeah.
And until I guess we figure out consciousness and emotions and things like that, will a robot that can maybe perform this surgery like a human can, will they be able to be motivated by the same thing?
That's interesting.
So, technology has malfunctions also. Humans make mistakes.
Yeah.
But one thing that is so important, I think, is the sympathy.
Yeah.
It's another human life that you're taking care of.
And that, I don't think AI would be able to perform miracles, because, you know, maybe they'll see that a heart rate is declining and they've exhausted all their options. So that's what they'll leave it there, like there's nowhere to go. But maybe a human, well, like, even though the option doesn't seem like it would work, like maybe there is that 0% chance of probability, but it does end up working due to a miracle.
Yeah,
you know, like some humans will take that extra step.
Yeah, some may say it's, and that goes all the way down to the fundamental point of what is reality. Because a pure scientist would just tell you straight to your face, there is no such thing as a miracle, only mathematical probability. Therefore, maybe the robot still tries it because there's still a probability. If you tell the robot, do everything you can to keep this person alive, then it would exhaust that possibility as well. But if there are miracles that happen at this 0% chance of probability, then you're absolutely 100% right. So that, like, the only debate there is, like, what is reality? Does it function off of these?
Maybe
other
miracles are those virtual particles you were talking about. We don't know.
We don't know. It comes back to the very first question we had. It's like, what is there outside of our reality that we don't understand?
Yeah, because if there aren't miracles in medicine, because there have been many things that have happened that nobody has been able to describe in medicine. Yeah. So if miracles aren't the thing and you can't explain it, then what is it?
Right. Yeah, no, that's interesting. And I mean, by the people, I fear for certain medical careers, but like with surgeons and stuff like that. By the time, I know Neuralink, the BCI is already done by a robot surgeon, but like once robots replace surgeons across the board, then we're gonna have to find another thing for humans to do. Like, but I always talk about the balancing shift between work and leisure. Work used to be up here, leisure used to be down here. So maybe it comes to a point where humans never have to work again. Maybe work is what gives us purpose. Maybe our next job is, maybe it goes from all this stuff. Why is there Star Wars? All these different technologies. Now humans and creatures are able to just explore the universe. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's our next thing to do. So there's all these different possibilities, and I don't know. We'll see. We don't know where AI stops. Maybe it doesn't stop. We don't know.
I guess one last thing, just going back to your question. For my job in the future, I don't believe that if those advances are made, I don't believe that robots and AI will take over the medical industry in my lifetime. Okay. If it does, then I really hope that there's other things that I can find.
If it does that quick, then I think it'll be set up to a point where maybe we all just live in a virtual realities or something, or maybe we just all explore the universe, or there's going to be something. It may be the golden age of fun. Mm-hmm. Maybe we don't need work anymore. Maybe we don't need money, all that, da-da-da-da-do. Maybe we just do what is fun to us. And, who knows? Who knows? That's such a crazy point. I really need some time. I think about it a lot, but I really need even more time to sit and think about what would we do if AI displaces every single job. Yeah. Some people just say, oh, it's going to create more jobs. I don't really agree with that because, what if those more jobs that are created in AI can just do? So who knows? That's why some people say AI is the evolutionary child of humanity.
Mm. So this episode, well, all right. I don't know which is going to be uploaded first, so a little bit of background. Yeah. Sun Tzu, a Chinese general of the past and a philosopher, he wrote this book called The Art of War, which was basically outlining what a general or a commander would need to instruct his army and take the route that you would need to be victorious. Mm-hmm. But not all of this is like strictly a war book, because a lot of the things in here you can take in a philosophical way, and you can form your own notions about them. You can form your own opinions, and that's what we're doing in this second part of the thing. Mm-hmm. So part 2 or chapter 2 of The Art of War is called Waging Wars. All right, so since it's going to be bite-sized, this is kind of a long chapter, but I'll just gather 3 main points that were made in this, and we'll have a discussion about it. So point number 1, word for word, bar for bar. Sun Tzu said, in the operations of war, where there are in the field 1,000 swift chariots, as many heavy chariots, and 100,000 mail-clad soldiers, with provisions enough to carry 1,000 li, which was their currency back then. The expenditure at home and at the front, including entertainment of guests, small items such as glue and paint, and some spent on chariots and armor, will reach the total of 1,000 ounces of silver per day. Such is the cost of raising an army of 100,000 men. So, the real importance in that point is the final sentence. Such is the cost in raising an army of 100,000 men. Everything that was listed before, a soldier won't need when they're at war. Mm-hmm. But soldiers have lives. People think of soldiers as, serving their country. Serving their country, being there to support. But do we really think about like when you see on the news like soldiers killed in Afghanistan?
Yeah.
You just think, oh, soldiers, people who are out protecting us. You don't think about their individual lives.
Yeah, you think about them as like nodes in a computer game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These people who all had their existences, and they led their own individual lives just as we did, but they're reduced to that one title. Such is the cost of raising an army of 100,000 men. That speaks volumes, because everything listed before is not something that you bring into war. It's something that they brought into their life. It's something that was part of their homes. It's what made up that army of 100,000 men. Each of those 100,000 men had their own lives, had their own existences, and they all united under one common goal, which was to serve whatever they're serving and be victorious in the art of warfare. Mm-hmm. So my question to you guys, what do you think is wrong with how we perceive war and the actual people that go to war?
It may be what Jacob was talking about earlier with the sympathy thing. Well, is that wrong though? I wonder if there's a question between, if you just look at it like a computer game, if you take lives out of account, will you have a higher chance of winning? Or is what's wrong with it that we implement feelings? Maybe is what's wrong with war is that we put feelings into it, and the fact that we use these feelings is why we may lose a war.
Yeah. That's hard to say though, because you kind of have to implement these feelings.
Yeah.
People aren't gonna sign up for an army to fight if nobody cares about their lives.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you just see them as little army plastic toys that are just going in to fight,
Yeah.
then are you gonna really win if you don't value each person?
Right.
So.
That's exactly correct, because excuse me, every individual person has their own strengths.
Yeah.
They have their own story, and they have everything that they're good at. Like even in video games like Call of Duty, like everybody's on a team, but you're always gonna see that one person dropping the highest number of kills on the scoreboard.
Right.
But not on the scoreboard, on the leaderboard. But even in war, I'm sure there are people that are going crazy, dropping a high amount of kills on the enemy side.
Yeah.
But we don't hear about them. Sometimes we do, because maybe that's because they like died at the war, and like statistics come out later saying how many confirmed kills that they actually had.
Right.
But these are all just lost stories. We really don't take into account, regardless of how good they were at killing, how good they were at recon, how good they were at collecting information, whatever they did in the military. We just see them as a soldier, somebody serving, not who they are. And what Sun Tzu is basically saying here is that we need to be aware of everybody's capabilities. We need to be aware of everybody's stories. Maybe not specifically, because 100,000 men, you can't know everybody, but you have to be aware that they're all different, but they all have one united goal. And through those differences is where you can find victory. All
That's
right,
a bar right
point
there.
number one.
Okay.
Number two, when you engage in actual fighting, if victory is long in coming, then men's weapons will grow dull and their ardor will be dampened. If you lay siege to a town, you will exhaust your strength. Basically, what this says well, there's this one specific part I want to focus on. If victory is long in coming, then men's weapons will grow dull and their ardor will be dampened. You see this a lot. Like, you heard stories of like people being in the trenches, like getting sick, catching what's it called, trench foot?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like morale lessening throughout everybody.
Yeah.
This is kind of more war specific, but this is saying that to be victorious, you can't play that waiting game because there are too many variables to account for in all of the men that you can't depend on them being able to handle those exhausting conditions that war brings about. And you can see this in society. People that maybe like are feeling depressed and like they feel like they want a solution now, which they may think is like killing themselves or something like that.
Right.
They want to get out of that situation now because they can't handle it.
Right.
This is basically saying to confront conflict, you need to go straight at it, and you can't play that waiting game because there are too many things to take into account, into consideration, where that's where loss can be found.
But you can't rush it though, because of the next sentence. Is that what the next sentence is saying?
Yeah.
If you lay siege to a town, you will exhaust your strength. If you go into too fast, too hard, too much momentum,
Exactly.
you'll lose it all in one moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
you need to find a good general, a good commander needs to find that sweet spot in the middle, where, you know, not everything is coming at you too fast, and you're not going at it too fast.
Yeah.
Where you're just riding the wave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that peak of the standard model curve or the standard curve. Yeah, no, I think that one's direct. That one's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good point right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And the final point in this bite-sized summary of this chapter is it is only one who is thoroughly acquainted with the evils of war that can thoroughly understand the profitable way of carrying it on. You have to understand that life is not easy and life is unpredictable. To be able to make rational decisions and choices that will work out for you. Because if you go through the world like living happy-go-lucky, this is like what I was saying. You need that little bit of pessimism to see the world for how it really is.
Yeah.
But that's not saying to be sad all the time. That's just to know that things are wrong, but there is the opportunity for those things to change.
Right.
What do you guys think about that?
What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of evil in this world. Yeah, I never thought about it that way. You never, as you go through life, you never see the reality of it if you, I guess, only look at the good things. Because, I guess seeing some of the bad things makes you value different things more in life. You see that people are being killed because of, like, their race or something, and then you kind of realize, like, dang, I'm lucky to live where I live, with the freedoms that I have, or just the situations we're put in. We realize people in third world countries aren't eating as well as we are, and then we can really value that in life. So that is true. I never thought about it that way. You do need a little bit.
I think the overarching theme is value mechanism. Is what we attribute value to. If you say good is high value, bad is low value, this whole field of this whole information landscape of values is what allows us to function through life. That's why we have money. That's why I think money is fundamental. So yeah, I think it's a value landscape. It makes us be able to choose, make choices.
And this is exactly what the phrase ignorance is bliss is based off of.
Okay.
What you do not know cannot hurt you. So if you forcefully choose for yourself to ignore those evil things, those bad things in life, then of course you're going to be happy, but that's not true happiness. So you need to be knowing to know what's good for you.
Couldn't say it any better, my brother.
Yes, sir. So there was a lot more to cover in that chapter, but due to the time constraints, we got to sum it up right there. I think that was a pretty good,
That was perfect.
pretty good summary of the chapter.
Yeah.
So,
All right, man.
But we're not done.
All right.
Philosophy is a bit serious, so we gonna get a little delirious with you. Give me a beat.
I got you.
Oh, and Jacob, you spin it too.
freestyle?
Grab that mic.
Bro, I can't.
Grab that mic.
Let's see. Where's that beat? Oh, okay. I got you. This is J. Cole Wet Dreams instrumental by Slime Honey.
It's easy for IT to get the right devices to the right people and help employees stay productive. When your IT is at their best, so are your people.
It's starting in 3, 2, 1. Now.
Yeah. Episode. Let me take y'all back to the place where I've been, where I never seen. Where is him? Where am I? Who is you? What is why? The art of war. I'm waging wars. Your friend, he's really poor. Maybe you should buy him a sandwich and a kiss. Valentine's Day, hey, I'm hanging with my bae, and I got something to say, and I find it kinda crazy that you wanna be with me, but I am feeling so wheezy, but not like easy, cause that is yay. Him and Kim, that's not okay, cause they're about to split, banana split.
Yeah.
I'ma sit, I'ma rip, let it rip, no Beyblade. Yeah, but I'm sitting under the patio on a clean day.
Yeah. Take it back to the day, A. Cold world, take it back to the day, A. Killing with my homies every day, A. Wait, not really. I'm not killing nobody. But yeah. And we slided. Yeah. A. Okay. Yeah. Cold world, yeah.
Cold world.
Cold world, yeah.
Cold world.
Cold world, yeah.
Cold.
Dang.
Jacob, he about to spit.
I was trying to get into it, but I couldn't think of one.
Diggity split.
Yeah. Turk, what you got to say, man?
Rip,
Yeah.
Flame spit, yeah.
We standing tall,
Yeah.
like some trees.
Yeah.
Can't nobody touch me.
Hey,
We going up.
Huh?
Yeah, we going up.
Yeah.
Can't touch.
You had it though. You're spitting though. You had it. Yeah. Yeah.
And he got it now.
Yeah.
And he got it wow. And he got it wow.
And he got it wow. And he got it wow. I can't get down. Never gon' frown. Yeah. And we talking about no. Dang, this thing is hard, bro. Yeah. I'm going to Brown. Never be frowned.
Hey.
Going uptown.
Hey.
Yeah. New York City.
Hey.
See them lights flashing. Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
Lights, camera, action. That boy, wow. Yeah. And he make me really proud.
Yeah.
Going to Granny's house, get him really mild. See her smoking all of them black and miles.
Yeah.
But you know my granny not a smoker. She just play poker, hanging with her choker on her neck.
Yeah.
And I'm playing with my deck.
What?
Yu-Gi-Oh! What's about to happen next?
Yeah, playing with a deck. Yeah. Pokemon said I'm playing with the deck. Yeah. Pokemon said I'm playing with the deck. Gotta catch 'em all, nigga. Yeah, I'm playing with the deck. Yeah. Pikachu. Yeah. He never threw. Yeah. Fru's in a word. Yeah. I'm gon' grew. Yeah. Grew.
Catch 'em all.
Yeah. Catch 'em all. What? Catch 'em all. What? Catch 'em all. Yeah.
I'ma catch 'em all. I'ma hit up the strip mall. I'ma play some Fall Guys while I'm hanging with my ball guys.
Yeah.
Giggity ball.
Okay. Spit.
Going up. We getting money.
Yeah.
No, this isn't sweet. This not honey.
What? Yes,
We
sir.
going
Yeah.
down. We going down.
Yeah.
Do not frown.
What?
You already
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah.
I don't care.
What?
Get these bars.
What?
Oh, I twist my hair.
Yeah. Hey. Getting bars. Yeah. Getting bars. Yeah. Yeah.
Getting bars,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
shit sweet like honey. Yeah. Greed like money. Yeah. Hey. And we gonna get this money. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we gonna get this money. Hey. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
gonna get this money.
Yeah. riding to the end of the beat. There's
Yeah.
10 seconds left. Nah, this shit ain't sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
we gonna get with it. We gonna get with it.
Hey.
Yeah, man, it's the Enlightened Brothers, man. Stick with it.
Gang.
Let's go.
Y'all heard Caleb freestyle? Give me some, boy. Hey, Jacob,
Turk
you
slid
killing
too.
it.
Turk
What the
slid too, man.
Hey.
Jacob, I don't even know when's the last time you even done a freestyle, man? Yeah, this is his
Never.
first freestyle.
Yeah.
He killed it, man.
Yeah,
And
that's
some-
what we like to see.
Look, man,
I put out some mid today. I'm not gonna lie.
it don't matter, man.
Not gonna
Hey,
lie.
no paper, man. Only money, man. Let's go. You know, big freestyle, man. This is absolutely amazing episode. Jacob, I tell you, I appreciate you for coming here. We didn't even have everything set up.
Oh,
And-
Jacob, secret message. What
oh
should
yeah,
they comment
we have a
down
secret
today?
message. What should the secret message be?
The secret message to the viewers.
Yeah, what should they comment down below?
Can you explain?
So there's a secret message at a random point in the podcast, and they comment if they're still listening. They just comment this sentence down. So just say a phrase. Or
Oh, it's like this. We're at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, if you got to the end of this point, down below, comments reality.
Reality. That's it.
yeah,
Reality.
baby.
Reality.
Jacob, how have you enjoyed your Enlightened Brothers experience?
You know, it was great, man. I know they got a lot of guests, but if y'all ever want me back, just hit me up.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Yes, sir. That's for fun.
Jacob, one thing I can say about him is there's a lot of people in this world that they do a lot of complaining, and they are all there. There's a lot of friction. They're very static. They can't undergo change. Jacob is one of the most malleable people that I've ever met. He's not really just going with the flow. It's just adapting to new situations, adapting to new environments. Jacob is definitely one of the people. He's just an easy person to have around.
Jacob's
And,
the definition of just vibe.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's just
vibe.
going along with
Be
it.
a
And
vibe.
like I said, like he was.
I
Just,
mean, other
yeah.
than when he's eating eggs. But
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
Okay,
saying. Jacob is more primed to go through change than anybody else because whatever the is going on in his body is always changing. He's always taking these. He's always taking these massive, making everything smell terrible. Jacob is probably one of the worst smelling people I know, and he needs to stop. He needs to stop eating these boiled eggs, man. Hey,
Jacob's a prick, and we love him,
If I
man.
come back on here, I'm bringing my eggs, bro.
hey,
Don't bring
hey,
that bullshit in my house, nigga.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
What
Hey,
the
man,
fuck?
it's been the Enlightened Brothers. Peace.
Adios.